kids, the time you get on your Saturdays, for other people, which is the typical I just want to tell kids, and I appreciate you.
Well, it's so nice to see everybody come back to Northwest and all these friends joining us today. This is a portion of North High School marching band. We had a game last night, as we all know, and so everybody was tired and had commitments, and that's really the amazing thing about Northwest community is that being in school like this, we all know each other, we all share pieces, and they get to participate in things. To kick off though, we thought it'd be really cool to start out with Northwest High School. So standing is one. always making sure that this man is included in things, and he just does such an amazing job with kids. And it's really an honor to work here with him. So thank you. Thank you.
Like we always say, we're blessed to just really have the arts, band, all the extracurriculars, everything to support us. I mean, speech on the day, which is Woods up here with you. It means a lot. To hear that means a lot. But we've got just one of them that are here. It is important. We're multi-dimensional. We're trying to do with other people. I just want to make a quick announcement before Mr. takes over. Some of you guys, maybe this is a program. So I'll have some if we run out, Mr. Woods, I'd like to give Mr. Woods a little bit of experience in a tough situation. We don't know what Mr. Woods is for school. Former athletic director leads, the red and gray. Gary couldn't make it. I'll give him some updates. He had actually 2 weddings, but ended up having to just go to one. You know, Coach Swaino, we all know how lucky Mr. Miller is, marrying Abby Swaino. Gary couldn't go to that. I just feel bad for Gary, but I'm keeping him updated. And I can just see his face right now. I just love Gary. But he'll make extra copies for you. So this is really a big deal. If there's any mistakes, I know Joe graciously told me, Coach Garisto told me, because we want to write. We want to write on the computer. So let me know and take it away, Jen.
Could we have all the Hall of Fame inductees please report to the stage, please?
Come on up, man.
Come on up. First of all, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody for coming. And in case, how many people were here for the Family Feud? Let's give a hand to Steve Jones for doing a wonderful job of being the MC. And all the current retired teachers, I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but boy, was it fun. Anyway, good afternoon. Welcome to our 6th annual Northwest High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony, honoring this class of 11 outstanding athletes, coaches, and contributors. This is truly a very special day, especially for me. It's very humbling to take a look at these bios and see what a talented group of individuals we have here at Northwest High School. And it's a privilege for me to introduce our distinguished honorees to you this afternoon. But first, we'd like to thank some important people who've worked tirelessly to make our Hall of Fame celebration a truly wonderful experience. Please stand when I call your names. Our entire Hall of Fame selection committee, would you please stand if you're here? All the members. Tammy Shipley, our team leader and incredible chief organizer. She is the heart and soul of our Hall of Fame program. Person who can't be here, but we have to thank Jessica Chitty, our very talented graphic designer. She did a super job with all of the designs that went out over social media. Our superintendent, Sean Brayman. High school principal, Larry Tosh. Our outstanding athletic director, Jason Hathaway. Thank you for all your friendship and your help and your support. Former high school principal, board member, and Family Feud MC par excellence, Steve Jones. I just want you to know I'm never going to forget that performance. I thought it was great. Our Canal Fulton Mayor, Mr. Joe Schultz, for all your help in getting our downtown activities and merchants involved. Thank you, sir. And our Pac-7 League Commissioner, Gary Woods, responsible for compiling those detailed bios for each inductee. And this outstanding weekend would not be possible without all of their tireless efforts. Please give them all a round of applause. I'd like to share a funny story that actually happened. Pro football coach Hall of Fame coach Don Shula. He was on vacation with his family of 4, and they went together to a local movie theater. When they walked into the theater, 12 people stood up and applauded them. They were pretty impressed as they took their seats. The coach said to his wife, "My gosh, isn't this amazing? Sometimes you forget the power of network television and level of interest and recognition in the game today. These people must have watched every Miami Dolphins game." At that point, the theater manager went down the aisle and said, "Hey, miss," he said, "I don't have any idea who you are, but we're sure glad you came in, because if we didn't get 4 more people, we couldn't show the movie." John Wooden, legendary UCLA basketball coach, once said, "The difference between winning and succeeding in life is peace of mind, attained only through self-satisfaction, in knowing you did your very best and strive every day to be better. There are no shortcuts to hard work, dedication, and success to achieve the pinnacle of your profession, and in your everyday lives as well. Your character is more important than how good you are at any sport, your athleticism only temporary. But your character, the type of person that you really are, lasts forever. Be compassionate, kind, grateful, and honest, and humble in everything you do. Sports is about building close relationships and mentorships, and showing the value of the word respect. Even more than that, it's about breaking down barriers to change lives and teach the core values of life itself, to leave a lasting legacy for future generations. Now, there's a famous person who once said, "Before you speak, have something important to say. Be accurate, be brief, and be seated." I'm probably not going to do any of those today. But now, really, it's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce this truly outstanding group of Hall of Fame inductees. First one up is Mr. Wayne Badida, a 1963 graduate of Northwest High School. While at Northwest, he participated in 3 sports, 4 years of football and track. His senior year wrestling was added to the varsity sports program under the guidance of Coach Al Mayfield. So Wayne decided to try wrestling. During the season, he was named co-captain of the wrestling team and received the Most Valuable Wrestler Award. Wayne feels that Northwest teachers and coaches influenced his decision to make teaching and coaching his career, and that's exactly what he did. Upon graduating from Northwest, he attended Cumberland College, and he participated in track, took part in the Cumberland Workshop program. He also met his future wife, Jenny, and the day after he received his BS degree, they were married. They went on to have 3 children, Johnny, Jennifer, and Melanie, and 5 grandchildren. Sadly, in 2017, Jenny, his wife of 50 years, passed away. In 1967, Wayne returned to Stark County and began his coaching and teaching career in Massillon. The following year, he moved to Northwest, where he taught in the middle school and was an assistant coach in football, wrestling, and track. In 1989, he was awarded a graduate assistantship at Eastern Kentucky University, and in August received his master's in education. Wayne was hired by the Boone County School System in Kentucky to help open the new Conner Senior High School. He would teach for at Conner for 31 years. He was an assistant high school football coach for 13 years, and on the coaching staff when they were 1983 state champions. He was also an assistant track and field coach for 4 years. In 2001, Wayne retired from teaching at Conner, but remained as the head wrestling coach until 2016. From 2017 until the present day, he continues to coach wrestling. Wayne says he has many fond memories of working with young men, including his son and grandsons. Some Conner High School team accomplishments were 6 conference championships, 4 district championships, 2 region championships, 1 Kentucky high school state runner-up, and 1 state championship. Some kind of individual accomplishments: 40+ state medalists, 15 state runners-up, 19 state champions, and 3 high school All-Americans. Wayne served for 8 years on the Kentucky High School Wrestling Advisory Committee, and in 2004 was inducted into the Northwest Hall of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame. 2012, the Kentucky Wrestling Hall of Fame, and 2021, Northern Kentucky Athletic Directors Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Wayne Badida.
Thank you. I was going to just come up and thank some people, and I guess I don't have to do it because all of them have been thanked. But I'll go back over a couple of them. I appreciate this weekend, last night, and of course today. And I know that Mr. Jason Hathaway, the athletic director, was kind of responsible for a lot of it, so I want to thank him. Also, I'm a non-computer user, and Mrs. Tammy Shipley really helped me. I called her a couple times and she gave me direction. She texted me, gave me direction. She even sent me a snail mail with directions on it. So I really want to thank those 2 people. I would like to take a step back right now in time. When I was here, 63, I graduated, so it was 4 years, 59 through 63. And thank those persons who also made tonight possible. There were a lot of coaches involved. I know Mr. Eugene Ferris was the track coach, and I believe Bruce Lahoon coached me 1 year in track. Mr. Delmar Halpin, my senior year, was the head coach. He was assistant 3 years before, and I had him 4 years in class. And he was really a person who affected me in a positive way. And last but not least, a coach that really kind of kicked me was A.W. Mayfield, the wrestling coach. He's here. Hey. These people influenced me. They impacted my life. They let me choose a field to go in. They didn't tell me. None of them said, hey, go be a teacher and a coach. But by the way, they brought about their job and watching them every day and being with them and working for them. They made up my mind for me because I didn't know what I was going to do when I came to Northwest. When I graduated in 1963, that May evening, I was on my way to school. While at Northwest, track was probably my most strongest sport. I had the most success. I led the most in it. And I seemed to be, every time we had a meet or a tournament or a big invitational, I was somewhat successful by placing someplace in the points. And that allowed me to take that on to college, Cumberland College, I ran track. I ran the hurdles and pole vaulted here. I went to Cumberland College, I didn't pole vault. We had 3 great pole vaulters. I couldn't keep up with them. So I ran hurdles and picked up the javelin and threw the javelin competition and really enjoyed it. Football, I really like football. I enjoyed it. I wasn't that good as a freshman and sophomore, but I went through the workouts, Coach helping. I appreciate it, and he taught me. Now he wasn't teaching these, were with a whole bunch, but he taught me the meaning of really, really getting down and working hard. He taught me team concept. You remember a team, you got to do your job. And that guy over there's got to do his job. If you both do your job and you do it right, we're going to do well. If somebody breaks down, we're not going to do well. So he gave me the team concept. And then there was wrestling. My senior year, they started the program. We didn't have wrestling until then. I thought, I'll try that. I'll go out and try it. It sounds like fun. You know, my brother and I always got into it. Boy, we had some good ones. I said, I'm going to wrestle. And I did. I went to wrestle for Coach Bayfield. He taught me attitude. Being positive. You can do it. He also taught me a lot about self-discipline. You had to have self-discipline in all sports, but especially wrestling. You were out there by yourself. You did something wrong, it was over. But if you did it right, it wasn't. So I really appreciate the coaches. But it wasn't just the coaches. I told you Coach Helpin was my teacher for 4 years. Many of the teachers, the faculty that weren't coaches, helped me decide what I was going to do by their attitudes and how they handled it. I watched this game here. What was the name of this game they had? Family Feud. And one of the things is, I think, what you liked the best about your teachers and what you didn't like about them, and so on and so forth. And everything they were bringing up reminded me of our faculty at Northwest. They went out of their way to help you, to teach you, to get you. I wasn't grown up when I came to Northwest in 1959. I was a little kid. I was smart. But by the time I was a senior, I matured. And I grew up. And I was able to go on. And it was, the teachers was a fault. And I thank them. Okay, it's really an honor to be named to a Hall of Fame. But I think it's a great honor to be named to a Hall of Fame that's at your high school, because that's where it all started. And you carry it on with you. So I want to thank everybody involved. That's coaches, faculty members, teammates, boosters, administration. I could go on and on and on, but I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. Our next honoree and inductee is Mr. Larry Stockert, 1963 graduate of Northwest High School. He earned 3 football letters under Coach Del Halpin. Co-captain his senior year, both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He was also selected to the Football All-Star County Class A first team as a guard and offensive guard and defensive tackle. Wayne and he were co-captains on Coach Mayfield's first wrestling team their senior year. He finished that first season with 14 pins in 15 matches. Amazing. Earned the initial Most Points Award. He was also a member of National Honor Society and served as class president for 3 years. In 2006, he was inducted into the Northwest Takedown Club's Wrestling Hall of Fame. He went on to graduate from Wittenberg University in 1967 with a degree in history and teaching. There he lettered all 4 years of football, plus the 1 year that he wrestled. He was co-captain of the football team Wittenberg his senior year and named second team All-Ohio Conference squad both junior and senior years. Larry was also selected during those same 2 years as first team Lutheran College All-American. Wittenberg won 3 Ohio Conference championships during his 4 years, plus the 64 team was named Small College National Champions, and on which he was the starting defensive tackle. He was a scholar athlete at Wittenberg and was also selected by Wittenberg Student Personnel Department to be a resident advisor in one of their dorms for 3 years. He served in the United States Army from 1968 to 70 and earned a master's at Ball State University in 1971. His work life basically included 3 totally different careers. First, in industrial relations, next, running and overseeing the construction of retirement communities, nursing homes, and assisted living facilities for over 20 years, and then working with his wife, Fran, a certified financial planner, for 12 years in Centerville, Ohio. He retired and relocated to Reno, Nevada in 2012 to be near his 2 sons and their families. He's enjoyed a variety of outdoor activities and traveling over his nearly 50 years of marriage. And our church, their church, has always been very important in their lives. Larry thanks his family, relatives, friends, coaches, teammates, teachers, plus school administrators for all the opportunities given to him while growing up on a dairy farm in the Northwest School District. Praise be to God. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Larry Stockert.
I'll make this short, and I'll try not to cry, because this old guy likes to cry, because the good Lord's blessed him a lot. First, I have some words for younger people. I know there's not a whole lot of them in this room, so you can fantasize younger people, but for the younger people, never forget where you come from. Never, never. Because if you do, you have what I've said for decades, a firm hold on an empty paper bag. And I'm serious about that. We got too many morons around that think the world owes them a living. Period. That's the end of my sermon. But seriously, I want to kind of cheat from my last paragraph here. I really want to thank my family. My wife, Fran, is here. She's embarrassed, but she won't stand up. Fran, no, stand up, Fran. 50 years next week. She's obviously a saint. But I'd like to thank my family. And starting with family, the reason why I became a reasonable athlete, I'm the youngest of 6, 4 boys and 2 girls on a dairy farm. Everyone beat the crap out of me. Okay? But 2 brothers in particular. Paul, whose wife is here, Carolyn, stand up, please. Yes. Paul and Bill, Bill's well, we're all going up in years, but, you know, they're 8 and 9 years ahead of me. And so whenever we were done baling hay or milking cows or taking manure out or whatever, doing corn or something, we'd get down in this open area and we'd start playing football or basketball or something, and it was always tackle. And so I always say that those two brothers, my oldest brother, he didn't care about sports. They're the ones who really helped me on. My family, my relatives, lots of relatives. Family, friends, Jane Bailey's right here. Her family was amazing for me. We didn't have much of some things growing up. But coaches, classmates are so important. Coaches are so important. People like the big guy back there, Coach Mayfield. What a person. People like Del Helpin, who coached me for 3 years, like Wayne was saying. Just classy guys. And tremendous teammates, even though we had a 2-8 season my senior year. But that's life. You know. Teammates, teachers, plus school administrators, for the opportunities that they gave me while growing up on a dairy farm in Stark County, Ohio. And obviously, praise be to God. But I thank the Hall of Fame committee for giving me this honor. I don't deserve it. But I just thank you, each and every one of you, for putting this on. And thanks again.
Okay, our next honoree, Mr. Craig Nettleton, graduated from Northwest in 1982 after a distinguished 3-sport athletic career, earning a total of 10 varsity letters during his 4-year career, lettering and starting 3 years in football, 3 in basketball, 4 in baseball. He started on 5 league championship teams, 2 football, 2 baseball, and 1 basketball. Craig also excelled in the classroom where he was a member of the National Honor Society. In football, he was a 2-way starter beginning his sophomore season. He had 12 career interceptions as a defensive back and was the first ever recipient of the Del Halpin Award. On offense, he played running back and rushed for over 1,000 yards in his career. He was named to the All-League team for all 3 years, and as a senior was team captain. First team All-League, All-County, All-District, and All-State. Craig helped to lead the Indians to a 23-7 overall record and 2 league championships. In baseball, he spent most of his 4 years as a middle infielder and pitcher, where he helped the Indians to 2 Senate League championships. He was named to the All-League team all 4 years, and as a pitcher, he earned double-digit wins before losing his first game his junior season. He was a team captain his senior year and helped the Indians to an overall record of 70-30 during his career. He also received a baseball scholarship from Hall of Fame coach Bob Starcher to continue playing baseball at Malone University. After graduation, he married his high school sweetheart, Terry, and coached numerous sports here at his alma mater, including baseball, softball, football, continuing to coach high school basketball in nearby Portage County. He retired as an educator this year, but continues to coach basketball and has an overall record of 370 and 227. He will be entering his 27th year as the new head coach of the North Canton Hoover Vikings. He and Terry have 3 sons, Joshua, Caleb, and Daniel, who have all been involved in education and or coaching at the high school and college levels. He and his wife continue to live in Stark County, and they visit Canal Fulton regularly. Once an Indian, always an Indian. Please welcome Mr. Craig Nettleton.
My wife and I, on our way in today, were just talking, and I thought to myself, man, oh man, I really have to thank Jason. I can only imagine the arguments and the long meetings with the committee he must have had to get them to lift the ban for this one time on small, unathletic, slow, weak athletes that really allowed me to be here today before you. So I'm really grateful and really, on a serious note, very honored to be in front of you today. First, I'd like to thank my parents. I was very fortunate to have a mom and dad that were supportive of me and loved sports. They were very understanding of a boy that was very competitive and really hated to lose. My wife and boys would probably tell you nothing's changed there. I still hate to lose. I'm still very competitive. I'm sure the teams that I've coached over the years would attest to the competitiveness as well. My parents instilled in me the drive to always give 100% in everything that I did and always emphasized the many lessons that sports can teach. I was extremely blessed to have terrific coaches and role models growing up, and especially here at the high school. I think it's probably very similar to how it is now with Coach DeMarco and the Bauer brothers. I had coaches that were tremendous X&O guys, but very similar. They were men that really inspired and motivated me. Coaches that I knew cared about me as a young man, men that were definitely Hall of Famers in my book. Role models like Scotty Morrison, Gary Dial, Bill Stump, John Rokas, Brian Armstrong, Steve Jones, and one of my all-time favorites was here, Jim Triffin. It was Jim that actually took a road trip with me all the way to about an hour away when I was looking for a job and trying to decide whether I should go take a job as an educator and a baseball coach. And it was valuable insight that he gave me, and it was just amazing. It just goes to show how the teachers and coaches here have always been, always going the extra step and the extra mile for all of us here. I was definitely lucky to have such great men in my life, coaches who helped shape me and then also inspired me to go into education and coaching as my own career. I really think it's a little ironic at this point to receive an individual award today when all the sports I played were so team-oriented. In the late 70s and early 80s, there were a tremendous amount of great athletes roaming the halls of Northwest High School. I was lucky to play with outstanding teammates and athletes, and most of my success was really due to the great players that surrounded me and pushed me to continue to grow as an athlete. Pushing me were younger players and older players, but we all had the same common goal. Pushing me were guys like Mark Hammer, Rich Workman, Steve Revenerick, Randy Grubb, Mike Wooden, Jeff Mayfield, and Jay Nellis, just to name a few. I'm sure some of those guys will be joining me here soon, and a few have already made their way into the Hall of Fame. Together we were able to have some fun and win quite a few championships, but even more importantly, build relationships and share some terrific memories. I think my parents were as happy as I was when we won those championships. Back then, when you won a championship, the Booster Club would buy all the championship team coats. And it was amazing. I think my parents were more ecstatic than I was because we went for a period of 3 or 4 years without them ever buying me a coat. I had coats for 2 fall coats for football, I had a winter coat for basketball season, and I had 2 spring coats after we won championships in baseball season. So my parents really made out on the deal. And also, it just goes to show how the Booster Club had such an impact too during that time frame. And closing, I'd just like to thank my wife, my boys, my family, and a lot of my friends who are here today. I would also like to thank Jason and the committee again for this awesome award and recognition. I am truly humbled by this honor. As I get older, my memory of the games and the stats seems to get a little bit jumbled up, but what I always remember are all the terrific memories and relationships that were built as an Indian with my coaches, friends, and my teammates. Wherever I go, I'm always proud to say that I graduated from Northwest and I'm an Indian. As I always say, once an Indian, always an Indian. Thank you.
What an amazing group of people. Our next honoree is Mr. Mark Taylor. Mark was a 3-sport athlete. excelling in golf, basketball, and baseball. He was Northwest's first state golf champion, winning the Class AA title in 1985 with an outstanding score of 150 on the vaunted grade course at The Ohio State University. He was an outstanding point guard for Coach Tom Weckesser's 1984 undefeated team. He also was a star left-handed pitcher and outfielder for Coach Jim Triffin's baseball teams of the mid-1980s. Mark would have been a member of the class of 1987 at Northwest High, but his family moved to Michigan prior to his senior season. He remembers his years at Northwest with great joy and fondness for our community. Mark is the owner of a very successful landscaping business in Farmington, Michigan, but we won't hold that against him. Unfortunately, due to family obligations, he couldn't be with us today, so please welcome him into our Hall of Fame with a big round of applause. Okay, our next honoree is Amy Chillik Lewis. Amy graduated from Northwest in 1990 as a two-sport athlete. She was a 4-year letter winner in track and field and a 2-letter winner in volleyball. She's a school record holder in the 400 meter until the spring of 2023. That's a long time. And the 1600 meter relay as well. She qualified for the state track meet in the 400 meter her senior year. She was a multiple-time MVP for the girls' track team, along with many league and district championships. While at Northwest, Amy graduated in the top 10% of her class and was inducted into the National Honor Society and was class treasurer for the class of 1990. Amy received a full-ride scholarship to the University of Akron for both athletics and academics. She competed in both indoor and outdoor track while there and was a 4-year letter winner for the Zips. She was part of several school records in her time at the University of Akron and graduated in 1994 with her bachelor's degree in secondary education to teach biology, general science, and English. She secured a teaching job at Talmadge High School, where she also coached track until starting a family. She begins her 30th year at Talmadge High School this fall. Amy resides in North Canton with her husband Jeff of 23 years, their twin daughters Maya and Bria, and her son Mason. Her daughter Maya swims at Oakland University in Michigan, and Bria is a diver for Clarion University in Pennsylvania. Mason will be a sophomore at North Canton Hoover and swims for the Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome Mrs. Amy Chillik Lewis.
I'd like to start by thanking the committee for inducting me into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Athletics has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I think I started t-ball at age 5 on the Robins, and played softball all the way until I got to high school and chose to go run track. We're a very athletic family. Obviously, I ran in college. My husband was a college athlete. My daughters are college athletes, and my son plans on swimming in college as well. So our life revolves around athletics even 30-some years after I've graduated from Northwest. So it's truly an honor for me to be inducted. We've been completely enthralled in our children's athletics, so to go back all these years and be recognized for what I did when I was here in the late 80s and 1990 is pretty special to me. You know, when you listen to the other inductees talk about their time here at Northwest, I have very fond memories being here. I had amazing teachers, I had amazing coaches, and so I just want to share a couple of things, or a couple of examples of teachers and coaches that have influenced my life. I'm going to start with non-athletics. I am a biology teacher. I've been a biology teacher for 30 years. And that all started my love for biology with Mr. John Rokas. He was an amazing teacher, most intelligent man that really influenced my career choice, and I can't thank him enough for that. We'll start with volleyball first, because that was something that was very difficult for me. I decided to go out for volleyball as a sophomore, which, if anybody knows, that's kind of late to start a sport, and I was kind of behind the 8 ball. But I kind of picked it up okay, but it definitely taught me adversity and, you know, perseverance to keep trying. I did meet my best friend while I was playing volleyball, and we're still best friends today, which is 30-some years later. And Coach Raff pushed us a lot, and, you know, to get that kind of grit, that's kind of where that started. If I go to track, I have 2 people that I'm going to mention. 2 of them are here today. I'm going to start with Brian Reese. My first couple years of track, I decided that I was only going to be a sprinter. That's all that I wanted to do. I didn't want to do anything further. And so he was primarily my coach. At the end of my junior season, he decided that he was going to step away because he had a family to take care of and all that. So I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So I wrote him this big long letter and begged him to stay. And you know, whenever I run into him, you know, all these years later, he's like, you know, I still have that letter where you know, basically begged me to stay, and he did stay, and it was amazing to have him there all 4 years. Before my senior season, Kelly Coates, who's also here today, said, you know, do you want to run the 400? Do you want to go to state? And I'm like, well, of course I do. Wasn't so crazy about the 400, but I wanted to go to state, and I just didn't have the fastness that I needed to be a 100 and 200 sprinter. So he said, I'll get you there. I'll work with you. But you have to buy in. You have to do what I tell you to do. Okay, so he said, we're going to start running distance. I'm like, oh, Lord. Okay. He says, I don't care how slow we go. He ran right with me all of the time. He's like, we can go as slow as you want. He said, but you can't stop. And when I saw him today, that was the first thing he said to me. Do you remember what I said to you when we started that journey? Run slow, but don't stop. And he pushed me out of my comfort zone. There were several meets where he said, you're going to do the 800 today. I'm like, what? He's like, you can do this, you can do this, come on, come on. And so I learned a lot from him as a coach. He has this special place in my heart because I don't think that I would have been the track athlete that I ended up being if it weren't for him. I did end up going to Akron, and I ran the 400 all 4 years at college. And again, I wouldn't have got there without him, so thank you very much. I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me, encouraging me, and telling me that I can do this. Again, I don't think I would be the person I am today without that guidance. So, in closing, if you are experiencing adversity, if you think you can't do something, somebody in your life will push you to do that. Find that person. If you feel that a goal is not achievable, find that person who tells you that it is and who is willing to go that extra mile to help you achieve that goal, because there are lots of educators, there's a lot of coaches, mentors out there that are willing to go that extra mile for you. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree is Mr. Tom Bauer. Tom was a 1996 graduate of Northwest High School. During his 4 years of high school, he achieved recognition in both the classroom and on the athletic field. Balancing athletics and scholastic achievements, he was a three-sport athlete while maintaining a 3.5 GPA in his standard and AP coursework. Athletically, he excelled in football, wrestling, and track, where he earned a total of 9 varsity letters. In the classroom, he held the title of Student Council President and was voted by the staff Mr. Northwest for the class of 1996. Football really proved to be Tom's passion. He lettered in football all 3 years, 94 through 96. NBC Scholar Athlete Award, 93 and 94. United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete Award, 1996. First Team All-Conference and All-County in 1995. And the Dell Halpin Award for Best Offensive Lineman in 1995. Tom continued his football career while majoring in biology at the University of Mount Union. And while at Mount, everybody knows about all those championships. He was a 3-year starter from 97 through 99. 2-time first-team All-American in 98 and 99, and All-Conference the same 2 years. Offensive Lineman of the Year for all Division III football in 1999, 3-time national champion at Mount Union. First Division III football player in 50 years to play in the Hula Bowl. Quite an outstanding honor. Mount Union, Mr. Consistency Team Award, Academic All-American, OAC Conference Winner of the Year in 1999, Football Gazette First Team All-American, also same year, 99, OAC Mike Gregory Award, Division III Football First Team All-American 1998 and 99, All-OAC First Team in 99, and he was inducted into the Mount Union Football Hall of Fame in 2023. The principles learned in football, discipline, teamwork, commitment, have transferred into Tom's profession, family, and passion. He lives near Canal Fulton, balancing life and career in the construction industry. His family of 7 and his passion for working with horses with his admired partner and also his wife, Julie. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Tom Bauer.
So I thought I'd kind of speak from the heart. It's kind of overwhelming for me to be up here and just honored. I don't want to say those things that you just read out didn't matter, but they don't compare to the people that I'm looking at right now. My mom and dad were like my biggest fans. Everybody knew that. But I was afraid to come to this. You know, Mom and Dad have since passed. And it was hard for me to stand here and say, you know, what's it going to be like? What's it going to feel like? And then I'm looking and I see the Stockert family and the Badida family and all these people, Jones and Hexamer, which I'm really surprised to let me back in here, by the way. Touch ornery, and if Mr. Dial was still here, it might be a different story. Before I get too emotional, you know, there's also, you know, Mr. Bauer sitting over there and Mr. Reese is sitting over there, and I have one regret. I didn't get a letter in basketball. I wanted basketball. And my poor mom had to like sew the extensions like in the basketball uniform for me, like in 7th and 8th grade, and I went to Mr. Bauer's camps, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And then Coach Reese showed up with a Frisco burger and said, I'm gonna wrestle my freshman year. Okay, that sounds like, so then I wore a singlet, like, come on. Like, horrible idea, absolutely horrible idea. But just the fact of the roots and the people that surround this community, it was so cool, you know, with Larry and his brother Paul. I worked on the Stockert family farm, all through high school. And Jim Stockert, sitting over there, we used to get in the hay bale tossing competitions, and I was never stronger going into college after being on the farm. And not just physically, but mentally. And yes, there have been some difficult times in my life. And there have been the people that are in this room that have just stood by me. Coach Reese helped me paint my house not that long ago. And actually stood between Sean Mazers and I, who actually got in a fight in high school. So Sean, he broke my nose. I deserved it. I mouthed off. Maybe a little bit. I think everybody knows me. Here we are. Sean's helping me rebuild after some personal tragedy in my life. Coach Reese is helping me paint. Pretty amazing stuff. And then just recently, Julie's sitting over there, and we had our wedding on Saturday. You know who officiated my wedding? My high school football coach, Joe Schultz, who has been there for 35 years for me. I'm just glad I went to Mount instead of Akron, though. That's something. That's incredible. That's what this is all about. And when my dad, last night, going on the field, Coach Moore came running up and hugged Julie and me, and then I noticed, Mr. Miller, and, my dad went through cancer and all this stuff, and they were around me. All those things that were written on and talked about on that paper, it's because the people in this room, they believed in me, and they got me through the hard times. That's what roots are about. And that is the most valuable thing of any ring or trophy or accolade or anything. It's about the people that are around you, support you, and love you. And I cannot be more blessed than right now. And Mr. Mayfield taught me how to line dance, which I did. How awesome is that? To all of you, to the committee, to the fellow athletes on this stage, and the people who love me and supported me, I love you all.
After all these wonderful speeches, you get really humbled listening to these wonderful people. Our next honoree, Samantha Miller Lane. Mrs. Samantha Miller Lane graduated in 1998 with 9 varsity letters in volleyball, basketball, and softball during her career. She graduated in the top 10% of her class in 1998. Was named the female OHSAA Scholar Athlete of the class. She earned honorable mention and second team All-NBC honors, as well as All-Star County honors during her volleyball career under Coach John Raffalides. She excelled on the softball field, earning 4 letters and multiple awards all 4 years that she played. Sam was named to the All-Star County, All-District teams her junior and senior year, while being named to the All-NBC team all 4 years. She batted .415 as a senior and helped lead the Lady Indians to the region tournament in 1998 under her coach and father, Jim Miller. After high school, Sam attended Winthrop University on a softball and academic scholarship, where she was a starting first baseman and designated hitter as a freshman. She was named to the All-Big South Conference second team that year, batting just over .330 in the conference, as well as earning an Academic All-American Award. As a sophomore, she remained a starter and an NCAA Academic All-American. Her junior year, she transferred to the Big South rivalry school, Charleston Southern University, where she hit .350 and set a school record for most extra base hits in a single season. She was named to the Big South Conference First Team, All-Tournament Team, All-Academic Team, and Academic All-American. She also earned Big South All-Academic Team and Academic All-American her senior year. Sam graduated magna cum laude from Charleston Southern University in 2002 with her degree in American History and Secondary Education. After college, Sam went back to Malone University to earn her teaching license in special education and eventually a master's degree teaching biological sciences through Miami University. She and her husband Rod live in Castalia, Ohio, along with their 3 daughters, Cassidy, Tessa, and Madeline. She spent the last 10 years working as an intervention specialist at Margaretta High School in Castalia, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Samantha Miller Elaine.
So I wrote my speech on my phone. And now I don't even know if I want to give it, just because everybody else's speeches were different, better, I don't know. And yet the same, because when it comes down to it, it's about community. Sports are a reflection of the community. I am a reflection of this community. So I want to take 1 minute and I want to thank the people that put me here. My husband puts up with my crazy for 2 decades, and he's carved out time of our crazy schedule with my kids to be here and support me. My mom, Kathy, and my dad, Jim, I don't have anyone to speak to. And then there's Joan Hogan and Steve Jones and Jim Triffin, Brian Reese, Tom Weckesser, Dean Walther, Al Mayfield, Jim Lauer, you guys all, Coach Ref ladies. I mean, I had a lot of you in class and not all of you. Mr. Schultz, I did you too in 8th grade. You know, some of you I did have, and some of you I didn't, and yet, even when I didn't have you as a teacher, you contributed to the culture of this community, and this building, and this program. And standing before you, all these awards and accolades, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be standing up here without you guys, and the support, and the consistency, because that's what life is most of the time, trying to be consistent, bust through the inconsistency. And all I can do at this point in my life is thank this community for supporting me and supporting my parents, especially now that I don't live in the community anymore. I can never thank you enough for that I'm not here every day, and yet you guys are, and you will step out and step up for them. Because that's what I really learned at Northwest, to step up and step out and not even need to be asked. You see something that needs to be done and you just get up and do it. And that's what the community values here were when I was in high school, and they obviously continue to be that way today. And I could not be more proud to be once an Indian and always an Indian. So thank you so very much.
Our next next honoree, Mr. Bryan Jones, 2010 graduate of Northwest High School. He was a multi-sport athlete over his high school career, and having the most success in football, track, and field. On the football field, Bryan holds several school records and achieved many honors. In his senior year, he set the single-game passing record with 365 yards. He ranked second in the Northwest football record book. In that same 09 football season, he threw for over 3,030 yards and 29 touchdowns, which is still the school record. He ranks 5th among all-time Stark County passing leaders, and in 2009 was selected as the Stark County Player of the Year and named second-team All-State at quarterback. He quarterbacked the Indians to a double overtime region semifinal and a loss to Dover at Fawcett Stadium. On the track, that's where Bryan really excelled. As a long jumper and as a sprinter. After setting the school record in the long jump, his sophomore year he went on to become the Stark County champion. He would again become Stark County's long jump champion his junior year and increased his school record. He'd make it to the Division I region finals in the long jump that year as well. His senior year in track and field would start off with him becoming the indoor state champion in the long jump. He followed that up with second-team all-county finish at the Stark County Championships and set the Northwest school record in the long jump at 22 feet, 10.75 inches, still a school record. That year, he would also make it down to Columbus to the state championships, finishing 3rd overall and earning him a spot in the prestigious Midwest Meet of Champions, finishing 4th. Academically, he was a member of the National Honor Society. He went on to compete then at Akron University from 2011 through 14 under legendary track coach Dennis Mitchell. While there, he achieved many honors, both academically and on the track. He earned academic All-American honors 3 times while at Akron and All-MAC academic honors 3 times as well. As a sophomore, he became the 2012 Mid-American Conference champion in the decathlon, scoring 7,276 points, ranking him 35th in the nation, and helping the Zips to a team championship. In his junior season, he helped the Zips to the indoor and outdoor team championships and qualified himself to the 2013 NCAA championships. East preliminary round in the long jump, and he finished 27th. In his senior year, he helped the Zips to a 3rd indoor team championship in 4 years, and achieved a season best heptathlon of 5,437 points, ranking him 29th in in the nation, and 4th all-time in Akron Zips history. In 2014, in the outdoor season, he helped the Zips to finish to a 4th consecutive team championship in the MAC and totaled 7 team championships in 4 years. At the 2014 Mid-American Conference Championships, he set his personal record placing him 4th in all-time history for the decathlon. This mark also ranked him 22nd in the nation, which earned him a bid to the 2014 NCAA Championships at the historic Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, home of track and field. He finished 22nd in the decathlon in Eugene and earned him Division I All-American honorable mention, the only Northwest alumnus ever to earn Division I All-American honors. In 2015, he played football at Malone University, fulfilling his dream of playing college football. Unfortunately, his season ended with a knee injury. After his injury, he shifted gears and became a track coach for the Pioneers. He trained as a professional post collegiately, and in 2016, he qualified for the USA Indoor Track and Field Championships as a professional in the heptathlon. Graduating in May of 2016 from Malone with a bachelor's degree in middle childhood education, he teaches grades 4 through 9 science and social studies. He now resides in Canal Fulton with his wife of 9 years, Felicia, and their 2 sons, Brooks and Banks. He teaches 7th grade science at Northwest Middle School, and he is in his 4th season as head track and field coach and strength and conditioning coach, where he brings his commitment and passion for excellence to his students and athletes every day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bryan Jones.
I guess this is new school because I'm not drawing my phone as well. And I can't help but remember, I think 15 years ago, I was standing here in a mullet wig and torn jeans singing Pour Some Sugar on Me for Mrs. Stacy's drama class. So, you don't look like 7th graders, so you might be a little jittery and nervous, especially after hearing some of the passionate speeches. Okay. Here we go. First, I want to say thank you to everyone in attendance. Thank you to the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Jason, and the others that are present here today, and everyone involved in the process of putting these alumni celebrations together, the committee who presents the nominations, and those involved in organizing all the events. Thank you to Tammy Shiplett for keeping everyone updated and communicating with us the tasks that we needed to accomplish. The Family Feud was way different than I thought it was going to be. That was really enjoyable. I think you should keep doing that. That was a lot of fun. Thank you to Mr. Gary Woods for your very thoughtful and detailed program. I know he's not here today. That's a gift that he has. He's done that for a very long time. And those are pretty cool, I think. We'll all remember those for a long time. Thank you to my current and former athletes and parents that are here to support me. I know there's not a lot of you, but I can see who you are, so I really appreciate that. And obviously the parents and some of our Booster Club members. Your support really keeps me going, and I appreciate that. More importantly, thank you to my wife Felicia, my family, my mom, my stepdad Tate, and my grandma Terry, my grandpa Mike. You've supported me past, present, and future, not only in athletics, but also helping me through those high school and college years, and for being here to celebrate this with all of us. You have a huge part in me being inducted as well. As it relates to the sports side of things, I need to thank all my former teammates. I heard that a couple of times echoed up here when I was trying to prepare for this. There's just so many people that I could thank, but it is the Athletic Hall of Fame, so I just wanted to give credit where credit's due, trying to point out those things that are, definitely lead to this type of success. So anyways, with that being said, my former teammates in high school, especially Evan Bach, Timmy May, Mitch Lewis, Bobby Schilling, Jesse Kelsey, we were good friends through youth, middle school, and high school sports. I know that had a massive impact on the athlete that I became. We were really competitive, we pushed each other, but more importantly, we were just really close friends that really wanted to see each other succeed, not for selfish or individual recognition or accolades, but just for the pure joy of seeing each other do well. I kind of miss that. I don't see that as much nowadays in these kids, but I guess that's what I'm here for as a coach and a teacher. I need to put another plug in for Evan Bach, who I played football with and ran track. Evan and I spent so much time together in and out of sports. We did a lot of bass fishing together, and Evan and I pushed each other ever since youth, who was going to be the fastest that year, who was going to score the most touchdowns. Sometimes I felt like we were pinned against each other, but it was good for us. Iron sharpens iron, if you've never heard that statement before, and that definitely holds true for Evan and I. So thank you, EJ, for pushing me in the weight room, on the track, and putting in tons of extra time running routes, and more importantly, for being to this day an incredible friend and human being. I know Evan deserves to be here just as much as I do. He's one of the best athletes to ever come through Northwest as a running back, as a receiver, and a sprinter on the track. So there's my plug to the committee. So it's never to realize the things that impact everything else. There are some key individuals that had a major impact on the success that I had on the field and in the classroom. I know that there are many people that I could thank in detail, but to respect everybody's time, doesn't seem like anybody's in a hurry, but I heard a time limit, so I don't even know what this will go to, but we'll see how it goes. If I leave you out, I apologize ahead of time. Feel free to remind me by smacking me on the back of the head. Remind me how you helped me as well. I can take it, trust me. And those who know me know that I can take the air out of the room, so I have to stick to this. Otherwise, it'll go for a really long time. Jason can relate to that. The first person that had a major impact on the athletics side of things that I need to thank, many of you know this individual who went to school around my age and even the teachers and staff and faculty, is Coach Vic Whiting. The standard that Coach Whiting provided for Northwest football, the school district and the community, was absolutely incredible. This man did so much for his athletes, the school, and the community that many people don't even know about to this day. From mopping the annex with bleach and water to disinfect it, so things didn't spread, to stopping on a brick road by SBJ in the heat of the summer to finish mowing an elderly woman's lawn, true story, and to spending 8 hours stripping the sod from behind the end zones and carrying it to the middle of the field, hash to hash and 20 to 20 with all of us athletes, and much more that would take hours and hours to highlight. He truly lived out as an example for all of us the sayings and the phrases that he had for our team. And many of you that knew Vic, he was about those sayings, and he held pretty tight to those. Most famously, synergy, which means, I'm going to go technical definition here as a science teacher. It means the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. And there's the key there. Again, sorry for the technical language, but the key is a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. Vic was incredible at building team culture and helping us to understand how important we were to one another and how that would lead to the greater success of the team and inevitably lead to the team's success as well, or sorry, individual success as well. I mean, his license plate said synergy in all caps, literally. Coach Whiting was the ultimate team player, and he knew how to cultivate that in us. Another phrase that Coach Whiting said frequently was, "The time is now." Living in the moment and controlling things that only you can control was really important as a quarterback, and just as a competitor in general, and it still holds true to this day. Coach Whiting was so good at saying this phrase at the right time to get you back on track and focused. Another saying I remember was the prayer that we always prayed before we left the locker room and before we left the field that night after the game. And if you remember, feel free to join me in this. I know many of you might not know it, but if you do, hopefully I don't throw crickets, but that's okay. And it went like this: with God, all things are possible. I believe in the sun even when it isn't shining. I believe in love even when I feel it not. I believe in God even when He is silent. With God, all things are possible. This simple prayer meant a lot to me, and it still does. Especially in the context of the fact that we played a game that we took so serious, and that we needed to have a perspective of gratitude towards God and His favor in allowing us to play that game. It was a great reminder that we are all a smaller part of a larger thing. Coach Whiting instilled in us athletes the importance of the weight room, how to train the right way and why. He constantly reminded us that the payoff is late and that your sweat equity that you put into the weight room and in your training will pay off in the long run. That's something I still try to instill in my athletes to this day. He was such a thorough, detailed, and committed coach that we knew we were better prepared than anyone else that we faced when we stepped on the field on Friday nights. I don't have enough time to even come close to telling you all the stories and all the things that Coach Whiting did for me and many others. So, in order to give him the credit that he deserves, Coach Whiting had a massive impact on my life, and I hope that one day, again, here's a plug for the committee, they honor Coach Whiting by putting him into the Hall of Fame along with all these serving individuals. So thank you, Coach Whiting. Another individual that I'm extremely indebted to is Sean Lazarus. I need to thank Sean for leading me to Christ and baptizing me and my wife and officiating our wedding. I can't leave out Molly, of course. She fed us a lot of food. Sean and Molly were and still are there for my wife and I. They've been an incredible role model as a married couple and as parents, and they're just incredible human beings, those of you that know them. They truly live their life for God. So thank you to Sean and Molly. You have a big part in this as well. Next is Coach Armstrong, Coach Bryan Armstrong, and Coach Mike Kelsey. Thank you for sharing the passion that you had for track and field with me. I fell in love with track and field, and Coach Armstrong and Coach Kelsey really helped me cultivate that, and it obviously paid off. Thank you to Coach Kelsey for giving me so much extra time and not asking for anything in return. Thank you for driving me all over the place for indoor track meets and helping me realize the potential in me. Sorry, let me start that over because that's an important statement. Helping me to realize not only the potential in me, but how to recognize and bring that out in others. Thank you to Coach Mitchell at the University of Akron for again recognizing in me what you've heard of before, the phrase jack of all trades capabilities. And if you don't know how the saying actually goes, some of you, I finished this for you if you know me. It actually goes, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But a master of none is better than one. And those of you who know me know that I get into a lot of different things, whether it's sports or building things, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm not an expert in any one of those things, but I try to get to the point where I'm well-versed in a variety of different areas. Coach Mitchell saw this in me as a track athlete and paid off in college. My journey to college athletics would take me several hours to explain. Some of you know that story. But ultimately, I ended up at the University of Akron to run track in 2011 as a long jumper. And in just a few short weeks, Coach Mitchell recognized my broad skill set and asked me to become a decathlete. And if you don't know what the decathlon is, it's 10 events over 2 days. It's the 100-meter long jump, shot put, high jump 400, 110 hurdles, discus, javelin, and finishing with the 1,500-meter run. When Coach Mitchell asked me if I would like to become a decathlete, I jumped at the opportunity and then realized I only had 3 weeks until my first decathlon. And that is an honest to goodness true story. I ended up finishing second at All-Ohio in my first decathlon by only half a second in the 1,500, which if you know what the decathlon is, it's a points-based system. And I was that far away from winning it. I instantly fell in love with that event at that moment in time, which as an athlete, most of you know it's hard to be that present, but at that point, I knew it, and Coach Mitchell had a big impact in that. During my time at Akron, I came to realize how Coach Mitchell had taken a program from literally the very bottom to create a legacy and to become one of the best NCAA track and field coaches of all time. Coach Mitchell led us to 10 straight years in the top 20 in the nation, even as a small MAC program. While at Akron, I was part of 7 MAC championships and was fortunate enough to have teammates, again the key, teammates and training partners that were national champions, world champions, national record holders, Olympic medalists. I had teammates in my event groups that were first-team All-Americans. And it really helped me to realize that the standard of athletics is way higher than most people will ever experience. I owe it to Coach Mitchell in helping me to form my current perspective on coaching. I hope to bring out as much in athletes that I coach as Coach Mitchell brought out in me. So thank you, Coach Mitchell, for investing the time in me and realizing my potential. What I gained from you will help me move future athletes and programs in a direction that they could have never realized. I also need to thank a few of my college teammates, Alex McCune, John Dahlstrand, Bjorn Johansson, Daniel Kinsey, Brian Dowdell, and Quentin Solinsky for helping me to realize that training partners will create lasting success. Our training group was the most competitive that I've ever been a part of, and it led to so much team success and individual successes. Thank you to Justin Lauer. Many of you know who Justin Lauer is. He's an alum of Northwest and a golfer. You might not know this, but after Justin's brother and dad passed away, Justin kind of took me under his wing in my high school years. He was my next door neighbor on Sandalwood. He was kind of a big brother to me. We played a lot of golf together, but really we spent time playing pickup basketball and talking about our goals, even at that young age, which is kind of hard to believe. But as you see where Justin is, it makes a lot of sense. What we wanted to do with our lives, motivating each other, things like that. So thank you, Justin, for being there in high school and just being a good example of what it takes to be a great athlete. And he's continuing to do that as a professional golfer on the PGA Tour. And his success continues to help me push forward. Justin's path to where he is now came with many difficulties, challenges, ups and downs. And is a great example of what it takes to stick with it to achieve your goals and to get to the highest level. Seeing Justin's successes allows me to continue pushing forward in coaching and in life to get to that next level of self-revelation so that I can give that back to the kids and the athletes that I coach and teach. He doesn't know it, but he motivates me quite a bit, even to this day. Thank you to Lisa Bauer for being the best teacher on this planet. She cares about her students so much and works so much harder than any other teacher that I've ever seen in my life. When I started teaching here at Northwest 2 years ago, I would show up at 5:30, and Ryan Brotherton can attest to this. We would show up for our 5:30 a.m. workouts, and Lisa Bauer would be making copies already, getting ready for the day. That's pretty amazing, the time that she puts in. She's dead serious about helping kids. So thank you for giving up your lunches to me to teach me how to do math, and continuing to do that to this very day for our kids. One day someone will give you much more credit than I am now for the incredible impact that you've had on them and other students. Here's a name that some of you might recognize. Thank you to Mrs. Stroud. She was from Clinton Elementary, for those of you Clinton students, for recognizing that I needed to be held back in 3rd grade. I was not very good at reading and writing, and we moved to Canal Fulton with 2 weeks left in the school year in May of 2000. With just 2 weeks left in school, if you could imagine what you're doing, like you're playing games outside. But somehow she recognized these weaknesses and made the best decision that could have ever been made for my academics. And that's recognizing that I needed to stay back for another year. This decision probably single-handedly had the biggest, most positive impact on my academic future, and it definitely paid off. Retention does work when it's for the right reasons. All these people that I mentioned here are what I would call Northwest people, and I think that sentiment has been echoed by every person up here, which is fantastic to see and feel, really. They were also selfless in what they gave to me and many others, and that list is way larger than what I just highlighted. The one thing that strikes me, though, is that many of these people are not necessarily around on the day-to-day anymore. Some of them are. But the spirit of them and the spirit of what they created lives on in people like me, those behind me, and the young ones yet to come. I hope that those that are in leadership positions, whether it be principals, athletic directors, superintendents, the boards of education, teachers, parents, and even athletes, will continue to trust in those of us that teach and coach and have an impact on these students and the athletes every day, to allow us to give what was given to us to the generations yet to come. Yes, times are different. It's really complicated right now to be a student, to be an athlete, to be a coach, and especially a parent. But this is the place where we cultivate and bring out the best in people. Think of the next time you want to be critical of coaches and teachers, and remember that they might be having an impact on kids that reaches far deeper and lasts way longer than your opinion of how and why they do what they do. So maybe just keep the opinion to yourself next time. Hopefully that wasn't too big of a dig. If we want to continue on the legacy of those that had such an incredible impact on all of us, please continue to recognize and support those of us that are in the positions to do so, and help us to shape more incredible student athletes. And that will inevitably make more inductees down the road that will make all of you proud. Thank you all. Thank you for your time.
Our next honoree is Rachel deGuia-Davis. Rachel graduated from Northwest High School in 2012. During her time as a Lady Indian, she was a 4-year starter on the women's basketball team and a 4-year starter on the women's softball team from 2009 to 2012. When she was on the court during her sophomore season, she won Northwest Offense Player of the Year Award, NBC Honorable Mention, and NBC Scholar Athlete. During her senior season, she won the Lady Indian Award. On the softball diamond, she was a 3-time all-conference first-team selection and earned all Northeast Inland Ohio Honorable Mention all 4 years. During her senior season, she was awarded Honorable Mention in the Division II Coaches Association, Team MVP, and the Russell Sarge Schurhagel Award for softball. She continued her softball career at Gannon University in Erie, Pennsylvania from 2013 through 16. She started all 125 games from 2014 through 16 during her sophomore, junior, and senior years. In her junior season, Rachel played a key role in the 2015 PSAC tournament runner-up team. She had a .949 fielding percentage when playing primarily shortstop and also spent some time at third base. And was awarded the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Scholar Athlete all 4 years. NCAA Division II ADA Academic Achievement Award multiple times, and the NFCA All-America Scholar Athlete honors. After hanging up the cleats, she graduated summa cum laude with her bachelor's degree and master's degree in science from Gannon University. She later became a licensed and registered occupational therapist and worked at the Health Pro Heritage, at Concordia at Sumner for almost 5 years. Sadly, Rachel passed away from mucosal melanoma in July of 2022. Since her passing, her family continues to strive to live a life honoring her legacy and the beautiful life she lived. Rachel's family foundation, the Rachel and deGuia-Davis, or RAD, Memorial Foundation, they founded it in December of 2022. This foundation provides scholarship opportunities for seniors at Northwest High School. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Mrs. Elisa deGuia-Davis, speaking on behalf of Rachel.
Sorry, I'm already pretty emotional, so bear with me here. Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank the Northwest Alumni Committee for having me here today to accept the Northwest Athletics Hall of Fame nomination on behalf of my late wife, Rachel deGuia-Davis. In addition, I
I would also like to congratulate the entire Northwest Hall of Fame class of 2023. Many student athletes have participated in Northwest athletics throughout the years and could have been nominated for the Hall of Fame. I am honored to be here today, seeing that all of the hard work Rachel dedicated to Northwest women's basketball and softball program is being recognized. Rachel loved her community and always called Canal Fulton home. Her participation in the Northwest community and athletics helped her learn and gain core values that ultimately shaped her into the person she was. As mentioned, Rachel passed away from mucosal melanoma in July of 2022. Since her passing, we have founded the Rachel and deGuia-Davis Memorial Foundation, also known as the RAD Memorial Foundation. This foundation is built on the core values and principles that Rachel demonstrated throughout her life. These values include learning and growing on and off the court and field, fostering a positive sense of community, courageously leading by example, and encouraging others to be their very best. This foundation provides scholarship opportunities for female student athletes, as well as funding and support for continuing mucosal melanoma research efforts. Myself, along with Rachel's family and friends, again want to thank Northwest for recognizing Rachel for her efforts on and off the basketball court and softball field. I proudly accept this nomination in honor of Rachel. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Coach Joe Garisto. Mr. Garisto was born in 1956 in Elwood City, PA, and graduated from Lincoln High School in 1974. He graduated from Penn State University with an industrial engineering degree in 1978 and played goalkeeper for the Beaver Campus branch team and the International Soccer Club at Main Campus. He played 1 year of semi-pro soccer with the Elwood City Rangers and earned his MBA from Ashland University and a teaching certification from Mount Union University in math. He has one daughter, Julie Ann Garisto Ashby, and lives in Jackson Township. Coach Joe coached boys soccer at Northwest from 1992 to 93. While at Northwest, he had a coaching record of 151 wins and only 33 losses. He won 9 NBC championships, 2 district championships, and 1 regional championship. In 1998, his team was the Division II state runner-up. He received the NBC Coach of the Year 8 times, was Stark County Coach of the Year 3 times, Division II Coach of the Year in 1998, and he also received the Greater Akron Soccer Coach of the Year in 1993. In 2001, he received the Ron Pinsensham, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly here, Ron Pinsensham Award from the state, which is given for teaching good sportsmanship, respect, character, and the development of the entire person. He had 5 players earn all state honors. He also had 4 players go on to coach high school soccer and 1 player to coach in college. Joe was always the goalkeeper coach at Malone University in 1991. The team won the Division III championship and went on to finish 6th in the nation for the National Christian College Athletic Association. He also coached soccer at North Canton Hoover, where he won 2 Greater Akron Association championships and the A Federal League Coach of the Year in 2004, and he coached at Kenston High School for 3 years. He was an assistant coach at Jackson High School for 6 years and finished his coaching career with a record 284 wins 133 losses, and 49 ties. During his extensive and remarkable career, Coach Garisto has worked as an engineer for the Timken Company and the Hoover Company, and also taught high school math at Kinston High School and Jackson High School. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Joe Garisto.
I'm going to start off by thanking my family for coming here. My brother-in-law and sister. That's what name is. That's a long trip. And I want to thank my girlfriend and her son, daughter-in-law, and grandson for coming. It's been a long day. So I appreciate it. I also want to thank my ex-wife and my daughter for all the sacrifice they made for me to coach. Being a coach is not easy, especially on the family. And spend a lot of time away from them. I appreciate them understanding that. I want to thank the selection committee for recognizing me with this honor. I look at the people up on the stage. I look at the other coaches that are in the Hall of Fame. Raph, Brian Reeves. I look at John Lauer, the coach. I mean, it's just, I don't know, I shudder. I think I'm in your company. I want to thank Dave Cooper for nominating me. It's kind of surprising because Dave and I really didn't know each other, so I was really honored that he took time out to learn about me and thought that I deserved this. I can't really express in words what this means to me. I need to thank Dennis Lambus and Bob Members for hiring me to be the voice coach here, because if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be here tonight. I also want to thank Bob Venables and Gary Woods. It was a privilege to coach under two fantastic athletic directors. They supported our program very much, and they supported me. I also need to thank my assistant coach, Keith Joy, for all the help he gave me over the years that I was here. I want to thank the parents over the years that I coached here for all their hard work with the Booster Club. Everything they did was to enhance our program, to make the experience for the boys, and for me, really something fantastic. But most of all, and certainly not last, I need to thank my players. Because I wouldn't be today if it wasn't for them. They did all the hard work. And I can never thank them enough. Being a coach is an awesome responsibility. I remember being 22 years old when I first started coaching, and I didn't know a darn thing. And I showed it a lot of times. And I had a few parents back then that took me aside and said, "Now, Joe, remember, you're coaching young men. And you need to set an example." It's hard for me to have a responsibility like that. But I learned. And in time, I got better. At least I think I got better. The players that I had here over the years, just unbelievable. You caliber of athlete at Northwest, I find you're unique. You look up here at these people. They're all former players, and some of the coaches here, contributors. I think that says it all. I worked under some great administration. Steve Jones, Mr. Hexamer, and of course I said Dennis Landis. As I said, being a coach is an awesome responsibility. You have to try to mix winning championships with also building the character of the young man you coach. And for me, winning without character is not winning. I was talking to Jason earlier this evening, and he was showing me the picture of our state championship, our state runner-up team. And I told him, I said, that was a unique group of players. Two of them were sitting here. I remember they were in 8th grade. We had a U14 soccer team to try to develop our program. And these two men here, Brian Eccles, John Parfit, along with Adam Zimmerman, they told me in 8th grade, Coach, we're taking you to state. I thought, that's great, you know? Let's go. And, but you know, they were serious too. You know, I think we got something special here. And they did. They took us there. It's been emotional for me this weekend. People always ask me, what do you miss about coaching? And the first thing I would tell them is my players. Working with young men, developing them, helping them to realize a goal. Doesn't get any better than that. As I said, it's a great responsibility. And I hope that over the years, I've lived up to that responsibility. I will always remember my time here at Northwest. I was never treated as good as I was treated here. All my players, I love them all. And I love Northwest High School. It will always have a special place in my heart. Thank you very much.
Truly wonderful, emotional, and moving speeches. Our final honoree and contributor, Mr. John Hexamer. John grew up in a middle-class, hard-working family. His father worked at the Timken Company, and mother served as school secretary after rearing 5 children, including brothers Ted, Mike, Ray, and sister Virginia. They were brought up on a foundation of discipline, respect, and hard work, with an emphasis on education. He attended Canton local schools, graduating from high school in 1962. In '63, he attended his first year of college at Ohio University, majoring in education and business, and needing to work part-time to further finance his education. He enrolled at Malone College, where he finished his bachelor's degree in 1967. Immediately applying for a teaching position, John had the opportunity to be interviewed by Northwest High School's principal, William Stinson, and found him to be a wonderful, outstanding man. He was convinced immediately that this was where he wanted to teach and who he wanted to work for. His first position was teaching BOE at the high school, in 1967. After several years, he was promoted to principal at Clinton Elementary. And then after 2 years, he was then brought back to the high school in 1973 as an assistant principal under the great mentor Gene Feud, and later under Nick Corral. In 1980, John became the high school principal until he moved to Northwest Intermediate as a principal until 1985, and then back to the high school as principal again through 1991. He then assumed his last position as assistant superintendent at the board office until his retirement in 2008. John has had a very fulfilling career in education and has felt honored to have spent his entire 44 years at Northwest. He stated that he would not have done it without the love and support of his family, his wife Judy, who herself was an outstanding and wonderful teacher at Northwest, his daughter Vicki, son Kurt, son-in-law Mike, and his grandson Elliot, who attended Northwest in his early years. After retirement, John had the opportunity to purchase a business of his own, Rack Coating Services, right here in Canal Fulton, which he ran until 2021, and then he finally really retired. During his long and satisfying career in education, he later served as a member of the Northwest Board of Education from 2012 through 19. The Stark Federal Credit Union as president of the board from 2005 until 2023. And a member of the Canal Fulton Rotary, becoming a Paul Harris Fellow and serving as president from 93 to 94. Through the Rotary Exchange Program, the Hexamers accepted their first exchange student in 1976. They enjoyed their experience with Vicente Paredes so much that they continued their role as exchange parents to 10 other exchange students. A wonderful experience that John says all of us should try. His pastimes include dabbling in the stock market, boating, camping, motorcycling, reading Forbes, and enjoying his family. And John has always exemplified the epitome of service to others, and it has been a wonderful friend and mentor to countless generations of teachers and students and parents throughout the years. Wherever and whenever you needed help, Mr. Hexamer was always there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. John Hexamer and his brother, Mr. Ray Hexamer, to make some comments about John.
First of all, what an impressive group, and it was great hearing your speeches. Hexamer and Athletic Hall of Fame don't usually go together. We aren't an athletic bunch, but what you heard about our parents taught us about love, passion, discipline, hard work, and nobody exemplifies that more than my big brother. And what I love most about talking to him over the years was when we talked about the students, the administrators in this community, and his passion for Canal Fulton and Northwest. The second thing I loved is when I run into people and they go, "Your brother taught me driver's ed." I think he taught everybody in Canal Fulton and Northwest driver's ed. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my sister-in-law and my brother's life partner, Judy. And she is just not only an incredible sister-in-law, but just a wonderful partner for my brother. Vicki and Mike and Kurt, who couldn't be here, my wife Shannon. I'm very proud and honored to be up here to speak on behalf of my brother. You know, John doesn't mince words. He doesn't say a lot of words. I used to be on the radio and I ran into somebody from Canal Fulton and they said, "It's a good thing you don't have your brother's delivery because it would take you 20 minutes to do the weather forecast." But what John said, and what I love about my brother is what he said always had meaning, love, and passion in it. And to have him as a mentor and a big brother is, I'm sure, what a lot of you as students, administrators, and community members of Canal Fulton enjoy as well. So, in John's words, thank you. It humbles me to receive this award. It has been a privilege to be a contributor to this Northwest Athletic Program, which helps those athletes learn many valuable life lessons and fulfill their love for sports. I'm so happy to have worked in the Northwest School District with its great students, teachers, and a wonderful, supportive community for more than half of my life. I have made many acquaintances and friends and built memories that last a lifetime. In closing, congratulations to these outstanding athletes. I stand with you today. My thanks to this school district and community for all the support and love they have shown me through my years here. Thank you on behalf of the Hexamer family for honoring my brother John.
I'd just like to know, when you were kids growing up, which guys won the fight most of the time? It's usually the older brother. This outstanding group of athletes, coaches, and contributors just never ceases to amaze me. What talent there is available, kindness, compassion, and just truly outstanding people there are in Northwest and within this community. I just want to thank everybody for attending today's award ceremony, as we'll continue to honor our finest athletes and coaches and contributors every year. Again, it has been my honor and privilege to present this outstanding Hall of Fame class to you, and please would you all stand up once more and let's give them a huge round of applause. Now we'd just like to invite everybody to come downtown tonight for continued fellowship and fun and celebration on the downtown main streets. And thanks to our mayor, he's done an outstanding job of providing a lot of entertainment for us. All the merchants will be open for more music, food, and beverage. And all the fine restaurants will be open and bars. And we appreciate you coming here today. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the weekend.